Welcome to the show. We have Nikki Finke. Nikki.
It's nice to be here, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good.
You know what? You must have better news and more news and different stories for us this week about the Writers Guild of Association, or the Writers Guild of America's the strike.
Well, it's been a total roller coaster ride. I mean, really, I promise you that Universal Studios Tour and Disneyland have nothing on this. I mean, 1 minute we're up, the next minute we're down, 1 minute they're haggling and negotiating, the next minute they stop in their tracks. It's excruciating is the only way to describe it.
When you don't live in a town like L.A., for instance, you know, when you're hanging out in Florida here, where we got this sort of right-to-work state, and not things are always contracted, and the guilds are not as prominent here, people don't realize how many people are out of work, what stops. Everything stops. Tell us a little bit about why this strike is going on.
Well, first, I mean, the ramifications of this strike are, I mean, writers are the source of everything. It all starts with the writers. And in fact, the motto of the strike is pencils down. You can't do a TV show, you can't do a movie without there first being even an idea, a germ of a script, and then a draft of a script, a treatment. Then, you know, you go through even more drafts. And finally, after a long, painful process, you wind up with a script that you can start hiring directors and actors for. And then they have their input, so you still have to keep writers on it. And sometimes you change up writers. It is a long process to make a movie, which is why most movies are made over 2 or 3 years. Right. In television production, you will have a script be written over a couple of weeks, and then you will have an intense week of rewriting so that the writer has to be physically there. They can't just go home and never to be heard from again.
Right.
They're integrally involved until that television program is totally shot.
And even during shooting, they're writing stuff.
Yeah, so this is definitely, you know, now it's not just the writers. I mean, nothing can go forward. You have grips and costume people and sound engineers and film editors. You have all these ancillary businesses, not to mention the florist that constantly sends flowers to people at the studios and the networks, the restaurants where everybody eats. I mean, things have ground to a halt. The last strike 20 years ago, Warner Brothers installed ping pong tables for their executives because there was so little to do.
Do you have, you know, you kind of gave us a little bit of idea of the ramifications of a strike like this, but tell us a little bit about what the public, you know, that don't live out in L.A., that don't travel the lots, that don't work in the business in catering and in production assistance and all that. What are we going to feel, and how do we know that this strike is happening and how it's not ended just yet?
You have not really seen anything yet. What you do know is that Letterman, Leno, Conan, Kimmel, Ferguson are all in reruns. Carson Daly is coming back because he himself is not a WGA member.
Oh.
You also know that the Colbert Report is gone. Also, Jon Stewart is off the air. That, other than that, the effect hasn't been felt yet. I would say that after the new year, each show has maybe 4 episodes left, original new episodes. And one of the great ironies about the 07-08 television season is that all the executives worked very hard to order more episodes of series so that there wouldn't be so many repeats, that you could have more continuity. I mean, NBC almost doubled the amounts of The Office and My Name is Earl and shows like that. So once they run out of fresh episodes, welcome to reality TV and game show, desert.
Right.
It's really stupid game shows. You know, there are a lot of them about telling the truth and lie detectors and basically embarrassing the crap out of people. And the reality shows are just as stupid as you can expect. They had to, pull these together pretty quickly. These are not quality shows. They're going to bring over some overseas programming from Britain and other countries.
Wow.
They're going, so you're probably going to hear a lot of accents. There are also some of the networks, like CBS announced that they're going to their sister cable pay channel, Showtime, and they're going to clean up episodes of Weeds and Brotherhood and Dexter and Californication. But my gosh, I mean, those whole storylines are all about sex, drugs,
and
blood.
rock and roll.
I mean, it's not even going to be the same show, even remotely the same show.
No, it's like watching Sex in the City.
Basically, you're going to see a lot of news specials. You're going to see a lot of sports specials. They're basically going to fill time.
Right. Well, while they're filling time, what on the other side of the line what's the WGA talking about? Why are they so upset, and why are they on strike? I mean, I don't think we've gotten a direct answer. Could it possibly be?
It's very simple to explain. The most difficult issues have been new technology. In the old days, remember years ago when home video came out, well, the studios and networks and big producers said to everybody, oh, we're not sure if we're going to make any money off this. This is new. We don't know if anybody's going to buy VCRs. So why don't we wait, and then when we see how things pan out, we'll give you some residuals from that. And they did, it was a minuscule amount. The same thing happened when you went to DVDs. They used the same argument. The union fell for it again. The people in charge of the union this time, and who are on the negotiating committee, rightly or wrongly, because I don't take sides in this, feel that they have to draw a line in the sand, that it's ridiculous for these companies to talk out of one side of their mouth and say, we don't know what the Internet is going to bring. We don't know if we're going to make any money on this. Just hang for a while and we'll take care of you, when they never took care of them in the past.
Right.
So they trying to say, this and no more. We're not going to stand for not having a piece of new media. Now, the argument from the studio and network's point of view, and remember, they have consolidated their hold over big media. They have vertical integration. Studios own networks. Networks own studios. Well, now the studios and the networks are starting to own the Internet and the distribution systems of that. So if the writers don't get in there right now, they are going to lose out. The studios, of course, and the networks still say that development of scripted movies and scripted TV series is incredibly expensive. There's a lot of gamble for what has increasingly become smaller and smaller reward. They've lost market share, they've lost eyeballs, they've lost advertising. Not only have they lost it to cable, they have lost it now to the Internet, and this strike could send even more losses their way. So they basically are saying, we need to hang on to every dollar that we can.
Right.
But the fact is, just to sum it up in a sentence, they came up with this residual system. It has worked for both sides. You can't just suddenly throw it out the window.
To be honest with you, people can hang on to we don't know anymore, but you know what? The we don't know, they never proved themselves in the past, and they just don't believe them in the future here. And the future, it's going there, and the entertainment and broadcasting over the Internet is here to stay, and only to bolster and to get bigger and better. So I wish you all the luck in reporting on everything, and I wish everybody in the United States and in the country good luck on being able to find some decent program come January. You know what I mean? It's going to be a boring time.
Well, it will be. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be reaching into their DVD libraries, renting stuff, doing more with cable for, video on demand and all of that.
Right.
And again, everybody's shooting themselves in the foot, because there are going to be less eyeballs on network television, less movies able to be made 2 years from now.
Nikki Finke, thank you so much for joining us and telling us what's going on out there.
All right, no problem.
Have a great evening.